national anthems up just yet.
I wonder if we can actually put together a list of issues we've had before this game starts.
Worst comes to worst, you can sing both anthems for us.
I don't speak Portuguese. That's the unfortunate part. I can help you in English, but I don't speak Portuguese. Yeah, I mean, from the players not showing up on time to the delay, the Burkina Faso Mauritania game starting ahead, and now the fans are literally, not just the fans, the players are waiting for the anthem to be played. A lot's going on in Francistown today. The players seems like they started singing the anthem. Yeah, Angolan players are singing their anthem without it being played.
And so we'll step aside to let you hear. Reminiscent of that match between Chile and Spain at the World Cup, where FIFA only allow you a certain amount of time for the national anthem. That time expired. The Chilean anthem runs longer than that time, and the entire stadium full of Chilean fans sang the rest of their national anthem. It sent chills down your spine. Here's the national anthem of Botswana. So the national anthems of both Angola and Botswana. And we expect no further delays as the officiating crew, led by Amin Omar, just about ready to go. We hope you are too. Let's take a look at the starting lineups, and we'll begin with the hosts, Botswana. Had just 1 point in the group. They picked that up in their last home match. And scoreless draw with Burkina Faso, and their interim head coach Mogomotsi Mpote lines up with this system. It appears to be a 4-3-3. We'll get confirmation as soon as they line up. But Morake in goal, the back four of Lenanyane, Tulare, Dilokwe, and Romboraka make up the back line. Mohutsiwa, Baruti, and Sogolome Boy make up the midfield trio. Well, Magantai, Mogorosi, and Setsile line up in the attacking trident, and all eyes on the number 17, Joel Mogorosi, the top scorer in the Botswana top flight at the moment. For Angola, and coach Srdan Vasiljevic, it's Four across the back. Bastos, the Lazio center back. Masunguna and Paiso in front of the goalkeeper, Tony Kubasa. Two holding midfielders, and Nielsen and Show. Freddy, Jalma, and Veto Kele make up an attacking midfield line. And Wilson Eduardo will lead the attack. Once again, the interim head coach, the former youth coach of Botswana. He said that this is the generation that could propel the national team, the Zebras, forward the next few years, and so giving a few of the less experienced players a roll out, though it is a squad based mostly on two of the biggest clubs in Botswana. Township Rollers and Botswana Galaxy make up a disproportionate amount of the squad and of the starting 11. In fact, the only player that doesn't play for those two clubs starting today, only two in fact, the left back Lisanya Ramoroka and the South African based Okambetse Maganta, who plays for Baroka FC in South Africa. So final checks for the referee Amin Omar. Meanwhile, they've been playing in Burkina Faso.
The Ouagadougou game's been on for 10 minutes.
Fashionably late, the ball rolls in Francistown. It is at Francistown Stadium where Botswana take on Angola in the final match of Group I qualifiers for the Africa Cup of Nations in 2019. Botswana in blue, already out of contention, coming off of that 2-1 defeat to group leaders Mauritania last time out. Angola in the driver's seat for that second qualifying spot out of Group I, coming off of their 2-1 win over Burkina Faso. A draw would be enough for them to clinch a spot in Egypt this coming summer. Alongside Sulaiman Folarin, I'm Andres Cordero. Thanks for joining us for the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers here on BN Sports.
Yeah, like you said, Andrew, but better late than never. The game is started, but most importantly, is 3 points is at stake. Or for Angola, a point, but more importantly, making sure that Mauritania does the business for them in Ouagadougou by beating or even getting a draw against Burkina Faso.
As Wilson Eduardo with his back to goal tried to drive the cross into the area. It's cleared away by Setsile. Paiso knocked it back into the middle. Threaded through nicely for the number 10 Makantai. He's dispossessed in the end as the attack fizzles for Botswana. Here's Bastos. Paiso. Pressure from Magantai. Raffled into the middle. Balls for Jalma, the Alanya Sport winger, who's lining up in a more central attacking midfield role today. 31-year-old captain of this Angola team. You mentioned some key pieces absent for Botswana's final match in Group I. A match that sees the team, the Zebras, just playing for pride at this moment and perhaps spoiling the chances of Angola.
Yeah, they're playing with house money, for lack of a better term. Nothing's at stake. It's an opportunity for the coach to test out young players, like you said, the future of the national team. But more importantly, it's playing that spoiler role. There's no, irrespective of whatever happens today, win, draw, or lose, they're not advancing to the Africa Cup of Nations. For Angola and Burkina Faso, those two teams, a win and either one of them advances. A draw for Angola would be enough, but a win for Burkina Faso for sure, and hopeful that Botswana help with the business.
Aduti flings it in, looking for Mogorosi in the middle. Touch back to Tulare, the 25-year-old center back, and they could get in behind here. Angola, they have the numerical advantage, 3v2. Ball driven into the area. It's Jalma, the captain. Just had it taken away at the last. Oh, what an opportunity for Angola.
Great defending there by Botswana. The young boys obviously living up to the task, but quick counter there from Angola. Looks like he was offside. Great pass. He took his time, had way too much time. Should have taken the shot initially.
And flag comes up this time. against Paiso.
Paiso's been heavily involved so far from the back and then also moving up front.
Confirmation he was offside when the
came from an offside position.
was made.
Definitely came from an offside position.
Young squad and the young goalkeeper Ezekiel Morake makes the start today. The Botswana Galaxy shot stopper, just 23 years old. Jalma once again shaken up after this contact in the air.
We do expect the Botswana boys to be flying in this game. Youthful exuberance is going to be at play, but at the same time, they have to be very cautious because this is an Angolan team that has what it takes to get all 3 points. So at home, you obviously want to give your fans something in the last qualifier for AFCON, even though you're already out. But youthful exuberance is great, but you also have to, play a little bit, be a little bit cautious. And the pitch is actually magnificent.
Well, it is an all-African-based Botswana side that is all the players playing in African leagues. In fact, 10 of the 11 playing in Botswana. Gantai in South Africa, the exception. Angola do have some players abroad, the likes of Bastos, Lazio, and Serie A. And the front four all ply their trade away from Angolan football. Freddie Jalma, Vitor Kele, and Wilson Eduardo. Ball out for a Botswana throw. What do you make of the zebra stripes on the new Botswana kit?
I think everybody's trying to, tap into the African culture, and it's very important. They did that with Nigeria. The Senegalese team wore their native attire as their instead of warm-ups for the World Cup. So you're looking at teams tapping into their culture, and I think it's very important. You put your best foot forward. You represent yourself with your culture, and as they're known as the Zebras, it's important for them to do that.
There's Freddie out wide. Going forward for Wilson Eduardo, who does like to cheat toward that right wing. Wilson Eduardo more of a second striker than an out-and-out center forward. You see him move predominantly to that right side. Here's Show. Lighting forward, did take a deflection. It's tracked down by Mike Gantai. So applying the pressure. It was last touched by the Angolan left back. Give it as a throw for Angola.
Yep. Smart idea to try to get the ball off Paiso, but the ball deflected off of him eventually, unfortunately.
Paiso puts it back in play. Attempted cross from Shaw. I'll tell you what, the more I see it, the more I like this new Botswana Umbro kit. Especially seeing it in action now for the first time. Attempted to make the block there.
I think everyone's staying away from the boring kits these days. Brazil is known for their traditional yellow and blue. England
loud enough.
Yeah,
without any patterns.
You can tell if a wall is painted yellow in Brazil, the kid thinks it's Telecom.
Designed by a Uruguayan, by the way.
Interesting.
That's blocked at the near post by Tero Setsile.
As long as it's not an Argentine. I'm sure Brazilians won't mind.
Second attempt at the corner. This one driven into the heart of the 18. And we're appealing for an offside. The flag stays down. For Jalma, but he's dispossessed. And it's Boy who blasts it forward.
Great job by Botswana to actually get out of trouble with that. We emphasize how young this team is, but the ability to be able to take up all the Angolan pressure for the last 7 and almost 8 minutes, and then be able to get out of pressure with the ball in your own 18. Kudos to Botswana, but the question is how long can they sustain this?
So far, no real test for their goalkeeper Morake, and they do win a throw here, Botswana. They've scored only 1 goal so far in these qualifying stages. They've conceded 7. It is the worst goal difference in the group. Angola, meanwhile, the most high-powered attack in Group I. They've scored 8. Mauritania and Burkina Faso 7 apiece. But defensively, only the 3rd best defense. And conceded 5 goals in 5 matches. They'll start deep in their own half now, Angola. Raffled into the middle. It's won by Wilson Eduardo in the air, chased down by Freddy, who's dispossessed. And the ball out to throw for Angola.
So far, everything Angola has done with Botswana, the Zebras have been able to handle. But it's almost like Angola is hoping if this game ends in a draw, they'll be fine. But at the same time,
they would be playing with fire.
Exactly.
In. That ball trickles out away from Joe Mogorosi. Here's why it would be playing with fire, because Burkina Faso currently leading Mauritania a 1-0. Here's a look at that opening goal in Burkina Faso.
Bertrand Traoré, the Olympic Lyon man. This is his team. He is the star player on this team at the moment. But this is what Burkina Faso should have done in the away leg in Mauritania. Two defensive lapses resulted in a 2-0 loss to Mauritania away.
So that actually brings Burkina Faso above Angola into 2nd place now. Level on points, 10 apiece, but ahead on the goal difference. 2 points off the pace of Mauritania, who have already qualified. Little by little, word will trickle into these players. They are down, and this is the final match of qualifying. And this will be a throw for Botswana.
Remember the days of the transistor radios?
I do.
Before internet, you had to have the radio by your ear to listen what's going on in the other games while you're watching your own game. But, you know, these days, these kids have no clue. All they have is the internet, and I'll just have to type in Botswana versus Angola, and they can figure out what the scores is already.
The problem there is you have to look down at the phone. You're missing the action on the pitch.
But half the time, they're always looking down anyway.
They're sounding very old at the moment. Oh, blasted forward here for Jama to chase.
Now we're just veterans. Ooh.
Jama trying to get around, flick toward the back post, and it won't reach its intended target. That ball did cross the line. It's a goal kick for Botswana.
A great idea on the cross, but the execution was poor. I mean, Angola just looks like they're playing for a draw. There's no intensity. There's no sense of urgency. You know, you can't leave. These are the type of games where a small, quote-unquote, minnow like Botswana will come and then hit you in the mouth. Burkina Faso will tell you that because they saw that against Mauritania away, and they lost 2-0.
It's Tulare who took that pass away, and Tulare back in possession now for Botswana, but getting tangled up and dispossessed by Wilson Eduardo.
Should be a professional foul and a yellow card, yep.
It will be a yellow for the 25-year-old Tulare. First yellow card of the match. It comes in the 13th minute. Maybe a tendency to over-dribble there from Tulare, who did well to win the ball back initially for Botswana, but then painting himself into a bit of trouble.
Way too many touches to begin with, but it's one, youthful exuberance. Two, that playing in the park type mentality, it was unnecessary. That was a quick clearance, 1-2 touches, pick your head up, find the outlet pass, or better yet, clear the ball away. Right now, he's put himself in a bind with a yellow card, and he can't make any more mistakes in this game.
Ball floated into the area and beyond the reach of Bastos, but only just. Lazio's center back rising to try and meet it. Maybe inches away from an opening goal.
Great ball in there by Paizo. The no finish from Angola. There's just not any sense of urgency from this team.
That urgency needs to come because they are third at the moment, and that would not be good enough to qualify. Here's Mogorosi. Boy swings it wide for Ramaroka. It's Botswana who are feeling themselves and on the attack. And the shot short circuits the attack.
Is that our first shot on goal in this game?
It's off target, but it is the first shot from Botswana.
Actually, first shot in the game, period.
Yeah. It was the left back, Ramuraka.
Because all Angola has done is just move the ball around, but without any. In the final third, there hasn't been anything exciting to see from them. No finishes, no shots. And yes, it's early days, but as we've seen in the other game, Burkina Faso is taking their chances.
It's beyond the reach of the captain, Jauma. A bit of possession, it's dummied through nicely by Vetokele. Only a throw here for Angola. Out into the area, they're in behind, trying to square that pass from Igor Vetokele. And the counter is short-lived for Botswana. Angola back in possession now. Lucho. Last by Baruti. Isaac all across to the edge of the area. There was Itolokwe deal with that danger, and Denny Nosoguna, who draws the foul and a free kick for Angola. It's quickly restarted.
Andres, you know, and you've called this game long enough to know that the longer this game drags on, the more confident Botswana will get. And that confidence would obviously give them that feel that they can take the game to Angola. So the quicker Angola settles this game with a goal, the better off they would be.
And the other side of that coin is Botswana have nothing in play today except pride. And so as the minutes go, not only might they grow in confidence, but Angola could start to sweat a bit. There's a chance maybe to open the score as a through ball. Well, it does find Igor Vetokele, but he could not latch on. It was played by Paiso, the left back.
The question is, was that a shot or a pass from Paiso?
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say this is a through ball from Paiso. We'll have a second look and you can judge for yourself. It looks more like a shot, doesn't it?
Exactly. And that's where the problem is with Angola. They seem clueless. The idea is just to come here and coast and hope that Mauritania will do them a favor, but that's not happening right now in Ouagadougou.
Free kick for the visitors. Traveling Angolan fans who came to watch their team qualify for AFCON. Again, 10 spots available out of the 24 in this expanded edition of the Africa Cup of Nations.
Would you say by far the most difficult competition to qualify for?
Yes. And probably the most difficult to play away from home as well.
I agree on that one. I definitely agree on that part, because teams play for pride when they're home. There's this sense of, irrespective of who you are in Europe, when you come to my home, you're going to have to earn the points.
Free kick now for Botswana. Segolame Boy who drew the foul. Sit down confidently by Setsile. Interplay, but a little heavy on the pass that time from Ramuraka.
Yeah, the intent was great. The ball movement was good there from Botswana. Unfortunately, the final pass was a little bit too heavy, like you said.
It's Makantai who's popping up in all sorts of places. He started the match out on the right wing. He's in a more central role at the moment, and on that last attack, he was helping out on the left wing.
Yeah, but Angola's allowing him to drift, just pick up different spots.
There's Morake. Botswana will play out of the back. It's catapulted forward. Here's Bastos. Switch to the near side for Paiso. It's a neat touch from the captain, Jauma. As he sprints away from his marker, but isolated on this near side.
It looked more like a lucky touch there.
The overlap is on. Paiso with the early cross.
Way better cross. Unfortunately, once again,
header by number 17, Wilson Eduardo, who again likes to drift to that right side. He's starting as the lone center forward today, but second striker who does like to see someone else take the attention of the center backs, and he can play off of them.
Are we sure he's a striker? Because strikers love the attention.
Vasiljevic, who we just got a shot of there, is in his second stint of national team duty, although he was just an assistant with the Serbian national team. To Pekovic, the main man for Angola, and possibly the biggest match of his career. 20 minutes in Francistown. Jalma finds the challenge, does well to find Show. And Nielsen. Isak. This is good ball movement from Angola. Now Wilson Eduardo.
Oh, great defensive play there by Botswana, just being disciplined and waiting and just closing out the gaps. But the question now is, do they get rid of the ball quicker? Good ball movement. Oh.
Tai's pass is intercepted, and now a short counter-attack for Freddie. Freddie working against Dido Oke. Tried to squeeze the cross in, but the young center back, Dido Oke, holding ground. One back by Show. They are monopolizing possession, Angola. Most of that possession is in Botswana's half. Show.
As much possession they've had, you'd expect.
Ball flicked into the area. It's a great delivery. Square back post.
Oh, no.
And off the woodwork. Still alive in the box. A chance for Wilson Eduardo. And he has broken through. Angola back in his second place.
Just when I thought Angola was about to mess that up, Botswana's youthful exuberance showed up there as Angola pounces and takes the lead here in Francistown.
Well, it's a Sporting Braga man, Wilson Eduardo, who was there on the follow-up. Have another look. It's a good ball sent into the area and a clever pass to the back post by Freddie, who was expecting that to be attacked. Wilson Eduardo had the initial chance taken away from him.
Yeah, he had two. He had
no
two
mistake on the second.
He had two bites of the cherry. It seems like there was a deflection there from a Botswana player. Number 6.
Siwa is number 6. It was either him or Ramuraka. Maybe just got a touch, but the ball was headed goal bound, so it should be Wilson Eduardo's goal. 21 minutes in. Botswana 0, Angola 1.
Now the tables are turned.
Yep, every goal will have massive repercussions as two teams trying to qualify with Angola and Burkina Faso.
Now Angola can settle into this game a little bit more. That goal, to be honest, was a lucky goal, because if you're playing against a better quality side, you're not getting that. That's cleared. You're not even getting the first shot.
Ooh. Shot to the near post this time is dealt with by Morake. Plenty of power on that.
That was Eduardo.
And the corner kick awarded to Angola. Wilson Eduardo was fired up after his opening goal. Take a look at that left-footed blast.
Oh, that was definitely going in.
Here's Freddie to swing the corner in. Outswinger, edge of the 6, palmed away by Morake. This will be a throw for Angola.
Yeah, we expected Botswana to be able to hold, but they tried. I mean, after 21 minutes, they finally gave up a goal. Their youthful exuberance kicked in. But Angola needs to grab a hold of this game, because you can't tell. Botswana, you know, could get lucky.
This will be a throw for Botswana. That, by the way, is a debut goal for Wilson Eduardo. The 28-year-old was a long-time Portuguese youth international, earning his first cap in a massive game for Angola, and what a moment to respond. Meanwhile, Ezekiel Murake having some issues here. Seems to be favoring his right ankle. Available on the bench is Kiagile Osipula.
And with that goal, Angola actually jumps to the top of the group, and Mauritania falls to second place.
Now Angola would be on 11 points. They'd be 1 point back of Mauritania.
Then live score has it wrong.
Here's another look at the goal from Angola. You're right, it is a level on 12 points, and it would put Angola into first place as the ball trickles in from Wilson Eduardo.
Yeah, but Angola had way too many touches in the box there. Not something that would happen against a quality side, but hey, you have to take what you have. You take your chances irrespective of who you're playing.
So as Murake gets treatment, because it is the goalkeeper, they'll allow him to get treatment on the pitch as opposed to forcing him to come out. The table at the moment has Angola in first place, level on 12 points with Mauritania. We're already through. The goal difference for Angola is plus 3, plus 1 for Mauritania. Burkina Faso also a plus 3 goal difference, but they only have 10 points, so they're 2 back. They need Angola to drop points.
So if Botswana scores in this game, the table's going to flip around again.
I was going to say never a good indication when the goalkeeper takes the gloves off, but Murake putting them back on.
And this is a good sign here for Botswana with the players coming into a huddle and having some form of discussion, because, like you said, pride is very important. Pride is at stake here. You have to be able to put up a good showing. So far, they've been able to hold their own. They're only down a goal. But who knows? We're hoping that for a Botswana equalizer. Could definitely turn this table around.
Flicked on and out of play, so Angola will have a throw. If you're Angola, can you afford to sit on a 1-goal lead, or can you go looking for an insurance goal? One in the air by Paiso.
An insurance goal would definitely help. It would ease the stress a little bit of all the players and all the dignitaries at this stadium for Angola.
Flicked wide for Freddie to chase, but it drifted away from the intended target. The pass from Shaw offline. I believe it was Shaw who sent that ball into the 18 initially.
To Freddie.
On the build-up to the opening goal. Loose ball and a foul. So we stop to the action. This will be a free kick for Botswana.
Foot was a little bit too high there from Angola. That was Isaac.
He knew it right away. Maybe lucky to escape a yellow card. Settled here by Isaac.
The referees in Africa seem to be a little bit more lenient than in Europe and elsewhere, because that would have been a yellow card anywhere else.
Flung to the edge of the 18. It's collected there by Magantai. And he dribbles into traffic and dispossessed. Slided forward. Only as far as Tulare. Tulare, the only player booked so far. He picked up a yellow back in the 13th minute.
A better decision this time from Tulare, because in the past when he got a yellow card, he had too many touches. Now, quick clearance. The first touch to set the ball up for himself. The second touch, just get the ball out and allow your team to set up all over again.
Igor Betokele touches it out. Botswana will have a throw. It was a good ball forward from Wilson Eduardo to the wing. Betokele not able to chest it down. The Charlton Athletic winger. And it's another throw for Botswana. These two matches currently 10 minutes apart. Burkina Faso Mauritania match got a 10-minute head start as there's a delay coming out of the tunnel initially for the players, and a delay to get the national teams on national anthems underway.
And the national anthem for Angola was never played, so I guess that's what really pissed them off. So just a lot of things going on in this game in Francistown so far, but we only have a goal.
Tulare catapulted forward into the area. It appeared to be handled. It was by Magantai. Handball against Botswana. as we approach the 30-minute mark. Clearly there off the left arm of Magantai, was marked very closely by Bastos. Mogorosi, by the way, seems to be bleeding out of the left side of his face there, and so the referee sending him to the touchline to get treatment, the 34-year-old Botswana captain. To your point about adjusting your foul sensitivity, anytime it comes to African, South American, or Turkish football, just turn that slider all the way up. It is graded on a curve when it comes to the physicality. It is grown man football, as they say.
It is. I mean, at the end of the day, if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen. This is not golf. This is football. It's going to be a little bit of tackle. It's not a contact sport, but it's not a collision sport, but it's a contact sport. It's going to be some tackling.
Freddie's pass drifts away from him and raises his hand in a mea culpa. For the moment, Botswana with 10 men as their captain, Mogorosi, getting treatment and a sarcastic question from the fourth official.
He's trying to get back on the pitch as quickly as possible.
Isak. His boy.
Credit to Botswana, a relatively young Botswana team, being able to hold their own so far against a regional powerhouse in Angola.
Angola back in possession now through Eden Nielsen. Isak. Eden Nielsen again, threaded through forward for Freddie. Logged into space. Freddie was pulled back there, and the foul was spotted. It was Tato Kedwe who committed that foul. So a half hour gone in Francistown. Angola looking to add to their lead, and this will be their first threatening set piece aside from a couple of corners.
So going forward, the new rule, and I'll say that after this.
Off the woodwork and nearly sneaks in off the foot of Morake was completely surprised by it. Ball clangs off the top 90, comes down and strikes the boot of Morake, and he's a bit fortunate it did not trickle in. In fact, it hits the post twice. Once off the foot of the attacking player and once off the foot of the goalkeeper.
Came off the crossbar, onto the foot, then on the post, and if the Angolan player was a little quicker, could have gotten a tap in there for the second for the Palancas Negras.
Botswana fortunate at the moment. This is just a one-goal deficit. Here's Jalma. Passed it into midfield for Vito Kelly. Vito Kelly commits the foul as he drags down Fortune Tulare.
That was a quick transition from Botswana. The keeper picks up the ball and gets it onto the Angolan half as quickly as possible. Here's a replay of that free kick. Comes off the crossbar on his foot, hits the post, and almost goes in. Great free kick there from Bastos. Fabulous free kick, but unfortunately doesn't end up in the back of the net. I was about to say that the new rule from IFAB is an attacker on the opposing team cannot stand in the wall for a free kick going forward. So we had Eduardo.
Look out, the ball's knotted back. This is dangerous. Botswana trying to pounce it. Magantai got there, but could not get it past Tony.
But we had Eduardo on the line with the Botswana Zebra players. But going forward, you can't have an attacker standing in line for the free kick anymore.
One of the rule changes upcoming. Another is goalkeepers will only be required to have 1 foot on the line for penalty kicks going
so
forward.
Weird.
They never have even that much.
Yeah.
Freddie. It's chested down by Tulare.
Tulare settled into this game. Outside of the yellow card, he hasn't put a foot wrong after that play.
Let's see what dispossessed by Eden Nielsen. And Well done by the young Mood Siwa, the 22-year-old, to win it. Sliding in was Danny Musunguna. Ball loose inside of the 18. It's Mogodosi who tried to square it in. One back by Angola, starting the counter deep in their own half. Paiso.
Once again, Tulare
called against Botswana in the...
But Tulare looked like, oh, he handled the ball.
It's the indication from Amin Omar.
From our vantage point, it looked like he actually nodded the ball.
Get a second look. I'm not sure there was any contact with the arm, but awkwardly the arm is stretched out toward the ball. Ball clipped, goal bound. Igor Vetokele, no trouble that time for Murake in goal. Flicked on this time, and Setsile able to keep it in play. Looking to provide a cross. Setsile. Mogodosi. Crossed in, back post. And it's blasted into the stands. An acrobatic attempt by Magantai, but the overhead kick can't find the target.
Very ambitious there. Very ambitious, but the intent is there. You can see Botswana, like they're playing with house money, so they have nothing to lose. They're pretty much trying everything that's coming their way. The unfortunate part for Angola is if it goes in, the table will flip. So that's what Burkina Faso is hoping for in their game against Mauritania, that their result holds, but this result, Botswana gets an equalizer.
There's Tulare. Possession short-lived for Botswana. Shaw switched the point of attack. Isak telegraphed his pass. It was intercepted. Tracked back by Baruti.
One too many touches by Botswana. Just one too many touches by their players. And Angola hasn't been able to punish them yet so far.
And flag up for offside now on that Botswana attack. This will be a free kick for Angola. Opening goal came in the 21st minute from Wilson Eduardo. Angola could have had a second, but Bastos denied by the woodwork on his free kick. Show.
And ever since that goal, Angola has settled quite well in this game.
Here's the goal scorer, Wilson Eduardo, showing too much of the ball to his marker that time. Raffled into the midfield. Swung in the air by Masunguna. Meanwhile, it is the dying moments of the opening half over in Burkina Faso, where Burkinabe lead it a goal to nil. Look out as Botswana looking for an equalizer here into the area on his right foot. Off target. I believe that's Joe Mogodosi. We'll get a second look. Oh, it's Magantai, who has been the most threatening of the Botswana players. It is halftime in Burkina Faso, a goal to nil. It would not be enough for Burkina Faso as Angola's 1-0 lead still has them above Burkina Faso. It would send the Palancas Negras through along with Mauritania. Another look at the effort from Magantai.
Great effort taken on the defender, but the finishing, needed some work. Unfortunately for Burkina Faso, they obviously have a lead in Ouagadougou, but the result here, if it holds, means they'll be missing out of the 2019 edition of the African Cup of Nations.
The expanded Africa Cup of Nations, now with 24 teams. This will be a throw for Angola. Still a ways to go until halftime in this match after the delays prior to kickoff. It's given away to Baruti, a chance to counter now for Botswana. Makantai. Angola transition back into defense, a ball laid off. Intercepted by Isaac. Blasted over the bar from deep in midfield. Botswana's attack short circuits.
Yeah, the finishing from Botswana still needs a lot of work. Way too many touches still. I mean, I sound like a broken record here, but that counter attack needed help, because by the time Botswana got the ball, Angola had gotten their shape back again.
Escape Mode Siwa, young central midfielder with a lot of promise for Botswana. One of the many Township Rollers players on this, not just starting 11, but throughout the squad. Tulare. Well, just gets away from Mogorosi there, but he appeared to be pulled back, and so the whistle does come from the Egyptian referee Amin Omar. Was awarded a free kick. Once again, Mogorosi. Down the line for Boy to chase, and sprinting off of his line was Masunguna to get there.
Mogorosi and Boy seem to be having a lot of joy on that flank for Botswana. And the problem is the final cross and the final play in the final third still needs a lot of work.
Murake. Ramuraka. Too much of the ball to his marker that time, Lisenia Ramuraka. Igor Vitoleke, who was just dispossessed. Now turning defense into attack as Botswana. Ball swung to the near side for Tsetsile. Just able to keep it in play, but not much else. It's taken away by Paiso. And Tero Tsetsile commits the foul.
Yeah, the experience of Paiso showing off there, being able to not only pick his pocket, but at the same time, get a foul in the process.
Overly aggressive from Kebwe, maybe a bit of frustration after he was not able to get on the end of that ball that he did keep in play. So Paiso will get us restarted inside of the final 5 minutes. That is a poor touch by Sunguna. He'll have to chase it down. He's given away a corner totally needlessly. Danny Masunguna.
Then passing the blame onto someone else. That was just, like you said, massive loss of concentration. You're leading.
So it was a relatively comfortable free kick deep in their own half. It's now a corner kick they have to defend.
Relatively easy pass. Had all the time in the world to control the ball.
Outswinger, edge of the 6, and just tipped over the bar. Strong header by Magantai. Did well to get it down.
We'll see with the header.
It did require a save. It was a Joe Mogorosi with the header.
Yes.
He did well to knock it down, but parried over. Now loose inside of the 6, followed up by the center back Tulare. Now a chance for Angola to counter. All threaded forward for Wilson Eduardo to chase, and he's won the foot race. Lotilokwe. Freddie is possessed. Valori now gives the ball away. Both captains giving the ball away. Mogorosi sends it wide. Switch of play to Tato Kebwe on the near side. Here's Kebwe picking up steam. Tsetsile. Siwa back onto the wing, and once again Paiso winning that 1v1 battle against Tero Tsetsile. Player down for Angola. It's the midfielder show.
Angola was very clumsy and almost gave up a goal, because here's a first corner kick.
So you're right, it wasn't the captain, it was the number 10, Nkabetse Magantai, who made contact with that header. And it did require a save from Tony Cabasa as that was down low toward his feet. Here's a look at the action that brought down Show.
Oof.
And that was dangerous.
That should have been a red card. Straight red card. Once you show the bottom of the cleats, you're playing for a red card right there. And that was highly unnecessary from Botswana.
Meanwhile, Show still shaken up.
Sometimes I question the agricultural tackles you see in some of these African games. Highly unnecessary. The player's not going any further than where he is. It was just a very terrible tackle on a player.
Meanwhile, Show was on his feet a moment ago. He'll be stretchered off, and there's a question as to whether he'll be able to continue. He's the youngest player among the starters for Angola, the 20-year-old Show. It's another look at the goal. It was started by the man who's currently injured, Show. Freddie with an incisive ball toward the back post.
Eduardo had one too many touches, 3 touches on the ball before he finally pulled in the back of the net. And Show has actually been running things for Angola in that midfield. So if he can't come back in, Angola's going to have to pull somebody else to play his role. But hopefully it's not as bad a tackle as it looks. It's not a bad injury as it looks.
And for now, it's Angola with 10 men. And the Show continues to get treatment on the touchline. Maybe no real need to make the substitution before halftime. They could take a good look at the break.
It looks like he's going to come back in.
Meanwhile, Sunguna with another poor touch that gave away a throw to Botswana. Here come the Zebras. Tidolokwe. Ramuraka, 2 minutes added on. Will play until at least the end of the 47th. It's Botswana 0, Angola 1. That one coming in the 21st minute from Wilson Eduardo. Tidolokwe.
And Show's back on.
Grown-man football, as we said.
Yes.
Handed away by Bastos. Oh, and a lovely touch by the new man back on the pitch. Show just needed a breather. He'll try his luck from distance. It's well off target.
Was he the same player who just got it tackled? Correct. Yeah, you're right. He just needed the breather. He's been running things in that midfield for Angola. And at least of the next 2 minutes, it's perfect for him. He can go into the half and get a breather and get a little bit more massage, and he'll be back on the pitch in the second half.
It's won by Isak in the middle, but he'll put it out to touch for Botswana. Just about 60 seconds left of time added on. Botswana just one shot on target, and it was an unforced error by Angola's defense. Sunguna turned a relatively comfortable free kick into a corner for Botswana, but as close as they came, they did not find the equalizer. It's won by Isak on the wing. Eddie Nielsen. Once again, Isak. Just over the top of Freddie that time as Igor Vitokele couldn't settle it for his teammate.
Yeah, the touch from Vitokele to Freddie.
So was this given as a handball? The ball wasn't out yet, and Freddie
that should have been a handball and a yellow card.
Should have been a yellow card, and it's just given as a free kick. So that'll do for the opening half. It's been eventful in Francistown. Botswana 0, Angola 1. Wilson Eduardo with a debut goal. The longtime Portuguese youth international, now 28 years old, comes up big for Angola. His goal has them through to AFCON 2019.
Lowe's knows you're the deal hunter who does things right, who's armed with research and finally ready to roll. We do it right too, with huge savings on the brands you want. So happy hunting.
Get up to 30% off select appliances like this Whirlpool refrigerator.
Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's.
Hay muchos tipos de orgullo. El de dejar a otro corredor comiendo polvo. O el de llevar la camiseta del equipo ganador. Y el de ser la compañía que construye desde hace un siglo las SUVs que a millones les da orgullo tener. Es el que les hace aplicarle esa capa extra de cera Ese es el orgullo que entendemos. Si no, ¿por qué crees que lleva nuestro nombre?
So you're open all day, every day?
That's what 24/7 means, sugar.
Kind of like how you get 24/7 access to licensed agents with Geico. Yeah, you just go online, give them a call anytime.
You don't say.
Yep. Now, what will it take to get 24/7 access to that lemon meringue pie?
Pie's coming! That's what it takes, baby.
Geico. Great service from licensed agents 24/7.
10 years ago, Coach James Lurson gave Brian Ortega a choice: continue fighting for his life on the streets of LA, or fight for gold and his community in the octagon. Today, as a top-ranked UFC featherweight, Ortega uses the fighting spirit that he learned from his coach to inspire others like him to fight for something better. Since 1925, we've proved that it doesn't matter where you come from, it matters what you're made of. Modelo, the official beer of UFC.
Lowe's knows you're the deal hunter who does things right, who's armed with research and finally ready to roll. We do it right too, with huge savings on the brands you want. So happy hunting.
Get up to 30% off select appliances like this Whirlpool refrigerator.
Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's.
Magisterial! Extraordinario! Messi is back. Argentina. Venezuela. Today, don't miss the party on beIN Sports.
You thought I was playing? Huh.
beIN Sports, home of the Copa Libertadores. With Juanfer Quintero out of action with an injury, can the King of America deliver under pressure from Porto Alegre? Internacional versus River Plate. April 3rd. Copa Libertadores. Live and exclusive on beIN Sports.
Welcome into the Express halftime report. 1-0 to Angola. After the opening half, it was Wilson Eduardo who broke the deadlock with a debut goal for the Sporting Braga forward. Let's take a look back at some of the best moments from this opening 45 minutes. Botswana had their moments, but here comes the goal 21 minutes in. It was sent in by Shaw, Freddie across the grain, and on the second effort, Wilson Eduardo finds Pater.
Yeah, great pass from Shaw to Freddie to Eduardo. He had a couple of touches and then finally got the ball in the back of the net. A late start, should we say. We had players not showing up on time, no anthem for Angola, so the players had to sing their own anthem. It's been dramatics, to say the least, in Francistown in this first half.
Well, shortly after the opening goal, a chance to make it 2, and inspired Wilson Eduardo stings the gloves of Borake.
Yeah, the powerful shot there from Eduardo, a player who looks, inspired after getting his first goal. But this free kick right here.
Yeah, from Bastos. Just look at the bend on that ball. Beautiful effect. And it just clatters off the woodwork. And Borake, fortunate, it didn't bounce off his ankles and in.
Off the bar, off the knee, off the post. Luckily, it didn't go in.
Meanwhile, this was a careless corner kick given away, and they nearly paid the price as Magantai's header just tipped over the bar.
If only he had knotted it straight instead of knotting it down.
So 1-0 thanks to Wilson Eduardo's goal. Angola lead it at the break.
Lowe's knows you're the powerhouse who does it right, who knows the right tool has no equal. As a leader in outdoor power equipment, we do it right too, so you can show your yard who's boss.
Now get a Craftsman gas string trimmer for $129.
Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's.
Alrighty, you guys are almost all set.
Great.
Sounds good.
Honey, while you finish up here, I'll grab us some coffee.
Okay. Ready to go?
But,
Getting a Volkswagen during the Sign Then Drive event, it's almost that easy. With practically just your signature, you can get a 2019 Volkswagen Jetta for 0 down, 0 deposit, 0 first month's payment, and 0 due at signing.
Talk to family back home with the new Boss Revolution app. Call, text, send, and share. Download the app and get $1 free for calling.
AI unlocks the art of science.
When you open a bottle of beer, I don't think many people actually know the level of science that's filled into that bottle. Back in time, it took Carlsberg several years to produce a new beer. But using Microsoft Artificial Intelligence, we will be able to detect new flavors in a split second and develop better beers faster.
With AI, we redefine what's possible.
So cheers.
Lowe's knows you're the powerhouse who does it right, who knows the right tool has no equal. As a leader in outdoor power equipment, we do it right too, so you can show your yard who's boss.
Now get a Craftsman gas string trimmer for $129.
Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's.
Tomorrow, the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers are on beIN Sports. 3 consecutive games. Burundi versus Gabon. Cameroon versus Comoros. Ivory Coast versus Rwanda on beIN Sports.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Let's call things by its name. This is the greatest motorcycle racing championship in the world. It just started, and we're all talking about it. The MotoGP World Championship Round 2 is just around the corner. The Argentinian Grand Prix. On beIN Sports, the world-class sports network.
The freshest insights within your favorite leagues. The hottest news of the day.
Back to you guys.
Right off the oven to your screen. So you can feast on the best of soccer. The Extra. On beIN Sports, the world-class sports network.
Welcome back to the Express Halftime Report. 1-0 to Angola after Wilson Eduardo's opener on his debut goal. Meanwhile, over at Burkina Faso, it is still 1-0. Burkina Faso took the lead in this one against Mauritania, who are already through, and that for the moment had put Angola out thanks to Bertrand Traore's opening goal from the edge of the 18.
Yeah, the Leon man just slalom through the Mauritania defense and powered a shot there for the 1-0 lead for Burkina Faso in Ouagadougou, but that goal might not be enough if the scores in our game, Botswana-Angola, holds.
Well, because the standings are as follows. Angola currently top of the table, even though Mauritania are already through. Angola on the goal difference leading the way, level on 12 points. Burkina Faso need Angola to drop points and to win. So far, they're holding their own end of the bargain, but they need a bit of help from Botswana in the upcoming second halves. Stay with us. We'll take a quick commercial break and get the second half underway.
Rated Teen.
Is it true Cricket has iPhone XR?
With the amazing liquid retina display.
Is it true that you wear a wig?
Could a wig do this?
Sports fans are gearing up at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Rated Teen.
The road to Qatar begins on beIN Sports. Brazil versus Panama tomorrow on BN Sports, the world-class sports network.
Every place has a story to tell, and we are here to show it.
We've waited all winter for this.
We are BN Sports, the world-class sports network.
Not even going to wait, we're going to get right into it.
Who's the favourite and give it?
Don't miss all the action tonight. Thank you so much for joining us on The Locker Room.
What a moment for Wilson Eduardo. He scores his first national team goal. And it's the goal that could potentially send Angola through to AFCON 2019. It's the final round and only 45 minutes remaining on the other side of this.
Lowe's knows you're the deal hunter who does things right, who's armed with research and finally ready to roll. We do it right too, with huge savings on the brands you want. So happy hunting.
Get up to 30% off select appliances like this Whirlpool refrigerator.
Do it right for Lowe's knows you're the deal hunter who does things right, who's armed with research and finally ready to roll. We do it right too, with huge savings on the brands you want. So happy hunting.
Get up to 30% off select appliances like this Whirlpool refrigerator.
Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's.
Welcome back. Just about ready to get the second half underway. There was a close shot of two of the Angolan players making their way out of the tunnel to their seats on the bench, including Motusi Cooper, a 21-year-old affectionately nicknamed Mini Cooper. Might he have a part to play in this second half? No changes from either side as of yet. Angola made a change to the scoreboard in the 21st minute when Wilson Eduardo scored the goal that sent them from second place to first. And if things hold the way they are both in this match and in Burkina Faso, it would be Angola joining Mauritania at the AFCON finals in 2019 in Egypt.
It's a celebratory mood right now in Francistown. You can see the Angolan fans and Botswana fans actually dancing more than anything else.
Was that a sable antelope dance of some sort?
It's called the Zanku.
Here's a look at the goal as Freddie's the man who sent it across the grain. Momentarily, Igor Vetokele had taken it away from Wilson Eduardo, but Eduardo tucks it away. Yeah, nearly scored a few moments later on his shot from distance.
Yeah, one too many touches there from Eduardo. One, two, and a third one. Against bigger oppositions, he wouldn't be allowed that many touches.
And this was on the ensuing attack.
Yeah, that was a bullet of a shot from Eduardo.
And that's one that you do expect the goalkeeper to deal with, but he made it more difficult by maybe getting a bit too central. Fortunate here. Every time I see it, I'm surprised by it. And it's like the fourth or fifth time. Bastos' free kick slammed off the woodwork. Then this header by Makantai. Makantai has shown some encouraging signs for Botswana. He's the man who scored the game winner when they met in the Kofasa Cup last year. Botswana going all the way to the final.
Did you just notice what happened?
The lights flickered.
Yes. I'm telling you, the drama in Francistown is ridiculous. There's no electricity in Francistown.
I thought they flickered and came back on. Apparently.
Are we going to start this second half? Because it took forever to start the first half.
Take a look. That's live on the right-hand side of your screen. The floodlights are off in Francistown. They had a 10-minute delay at the start. Couldn't get the sound system to play the Angolan national anthem. That's after players were late getting out of the tunnel.
Somebody forgot to pay the light bills.
And now it looks as though we might have one or two more interruptions before the second half gets underway. Meanwhile, they're well into the second stanza between Burkina Faso and Mauritania. Traore's opening goal for Burkina Faso has them up a 1-0, but again, they need help from Botswana to qualify.
Remember Manchester City versus, and I'm going to set this up for you, QPR and Manchester United versus Sunderland. Man United won their game and thought they won the Premier League. And then they had to stand on the field and figure out that Man City won the game at home to QPR to win the league title. Burkina Faso might have to stand on the pitch,
calculators in hand, trying to figure out
what's going on in Francistown, because we're not anywhere close to starting the second half. So the Burkinabe players are going to have to stand on the pitch, and the fans are going to be having their transistor radios and their phones in their hands, figuring out what's going on in Francistown.
And both games
dramatic to the end.
On a knife's edge is Burkina Faso looking for a second. Traore was stopped abruptly there inside of the area. So they're still trying to sort out the lighting issue between Botswana and Angola. We'll show you in the meantime what we can from Burkina Faso, Mauritania, because we have live football, so why not show it as they sort out the electrical issues over in Francistown. There's the man who scored the opening goal for Burkina Faso. And came into this round in third place, needing to win in order to move into those top two spots that advance to the AFCON finals. Well, they got the early goal. They moved provisionally into second place. And then Wilson Eduardo's goal knocked them back down to third. So just over 10 minutes played in that second half, and no change to the scoreboard as of yet. Meanwhile, here comes a free kick for the home side.
Traore looks like he's going to take it, but then he moves away.
It's chipped into the area. That's a clever play from Burkina Faso. Flick toward the back post. Taken off the head of the goalkeeper, but a flag is up for offside.
Offside and an infringement on the goalkeeper.
It was an innovative free kick for Burkina Faso, and it nearly works out.
Pretty smart idea. Gotta give it to them. But this, unfortunately for Burkina Faso, if the results hold in Francistown, which we're not even close to starting that second half yet, but if the results hold, they have no one but themselves to blame for the situation right now. 2 defensive lapses in the away game in Mauritania cost them 3 points. And we're here today. But at the same time, credit to Mauritania, because they had a bunch of opportunities against Burkina Faso. I guess the Burkinabes, looked at them as winners and thought it was going to be a walk in the park. Well, Mauritania's heading to the AFCON, and Burkina Faso, a team that played in the finals in 2013, might not even be making it there.
Here's Bayala dancing his way through, but one dance step too many and gave the ball away. That is far from over. In fact, both games far from over. That's particularly true about our feature match, which has had delays to both the opening half and the second stanza. This time an electrical issue slowing things down. By the way, this is not just an African problem. A La Liga match just a couple of weeks ago between Valladolid and Real Madrid had about a 20-minute delay prior to kickoff, where the kickoff was in doubt.
We had that in the Fulham versus Manchester United game as well in the Premier League. So it's
seen it on more than one occasion in the Copa Libertadores, which you can now see here on BN Sports, as well as the Sudamericana. There's Traore into the area. It's well defended in Mauritania, who are holding strong with that just a 1-goal lead now for Burkina Faso.
Big there for Mauritania.
Traore in the face of the goalkeeper, Suleiman Brahim.
Highly unnecessary from Bertrand Traore, because at this point in time, you're not going to the African Cup of Nations. This is highly unnecessary. I can understand he's frustrated from all the tackles from the Mauritanian players, but let your captain talk to the referee and let the referee handle that. Join with the opposition pretty much takes you off your game as well.
So about an hour gone in that match. And again, we'll stay with you here as long as the other match is still in the dark. This will be a free kick for Mauritania. Meanwhile, this section of the pitch appears to be lit in Francistown, but still no indication that we're ready to get that second half underway.
So the floodlights are coming on one at a time, it seems? Who knows?
Just a wild final round in Group I. The question now is how long will Burkina Faso players be standing on the pitch waiting to find out the results, as you pointed out, of that Botswana-Angola match to find their fate.
Not only that, outside of the electricity malfunction, that we're going to have anything else in addition, because that game seems to has given us every single thing you can think of. What else is going to happen next? What, the sprinklers are going to come on halfway through the game? Halfway through the second half?
One of the players is going to spontaneously combust. I'm putting my money. So an hour gone now between these two sides, and again, just that Bertrand Traoré goal in the first half is the difference between them.
Couldn't script what's going on in that Francistown game. No matter how hard you try, you could not script it.
You could script this part, just right, fade to black. That's where we are at Francistown Stadium. Meanwhile, free kick here for Burkina Faso. It will be Prejudice Nkoulma to take it. No, it's not Nkoulma, it's Bakari Kone, the big center back and captain.
And he passed to Prejudice
with the number 7. Tanya coming into the round were the group leaders. They have plenty of quality. They could find their way back to level terms here.
We have electricity in this game.
Abdul Razak.
Not only on the pitch, but obviously
at the feet of Bertrand Traoré.
We can see with the advertising boards lit up. I bet you most people have zero clue where Mauritania is on the map.
I bet that's particularly true of the United States.
Even in Africa, most people have no clue where they are. Because they've never really been a football power. This is the first time they're actually coming out. This has been their come-out party, for lack of a better term. And I guess the expansion of the tournament has helped them more than anything else. And it will open up their football. It definitely will open them up to scouts, because people will now have to ask the question. They're a West African nation. People will have to ask the question, how good are these players? The fact that they qualified and were top in the group going into this last game says a lot in a group that had Angola and Burkina Faso.
And so I think that's key, because you might think, well, in an expanded Africa Cup of Nations, sure, it might be easier, more teams get in, but if you win your group, that's a moot point. And they did come into this final match in first place, so they've been bumped back by Angola.
Bertrand Traoré there calling for a foul and pretty much attacking, not verbally attacking the referee rather than playing the game. I mean, he's looked a frustrated player so far. That should be a card.
Strong challenge from Dion. It appears that the referee was reaching for his pocket, and it will be a yellow card for Mustafa Dion. That was a wrestling move more so than a tackle.
See, and I see those tackles, unfortunately. I saw those tackles growing up as a kid, and it was considered normal.
It's Moulay Ahmed Khalil who is going to check in now as a substitute off the bench for Mauritania.
So power's retained. Power's been returned in Francistown.
Meanwhile, Adama Ba is the man who's going to make way.
Someone's finally paid the electric bill, so we have power, and we can start the second half. The question is, will this be the last in that will hold from a game actually playing? We'll wait and see.
Okay, we'll stay with you here now at Francistown Stadium, where Botswana trail Angola 1-0. And once again, fashionably late, the second half is underway in Francistown. Botswana 0, Angola 1. Wilson Eduardo's goal after 21 minutes, the difference between them, and it's the goal that is so far sending Angola through the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations. Alongside Suleiman Falarin, I'm Andres Cordero. Thanks for spending part of your day with us here for African Football on beIN Sports. No changes at the half from either manager. It's the same 22 players, though they might have started to warm up again just to keep the muscles hot Here's Tulare. Flighted forward and toward the wing. Makantai not able to get there, but has won a throw for Botswana. So, Sly, anyone impress you in that opening half in particular?
I have to give it to Shaw for Angola and Magantani for Botswana. Those were the two players that seemed very, very enterprising for the most part. Mogorosi as well for Botswana, just popping up everywhere on the pitch, and he even picked up an injury for it, a head injury for it, to boot. I think for Angola, they looked rather cavalier to start the first half. And until they got their first goal, there wasn't really a lot from them.
Meanwhile, player down now is Danny Masunguna. Seems to be favoring that left knee, holding the back of the knee.
Probably didn't stretch properly enough.
That's what I said. The players might have had a second round of warming up there. The 32-year-old Masunguna looks as though he will need a substitution. And he seems to be not really the knee, but rather that hamstring.
Yeah,
might have
like
just
a hamstring
popped.
injury than anything else.
So another casualty of this wild and bizarre Group I finale. Among the defenders available on the bench for Vasiljevic.
Oh, actually, no one touched him. He held on to that for the longest. Yeah, it looks like a hamstring injury.
Doesn't really have an out-and-out center back to bring on to replace him. He could bring on Stelvio Cruz, who's a defensive midfielder who can play as a central defender.
He's trying to run it off, but...
And the left back, Eddie Afonso, could also slide into the back line. And that tells you just how much this game means. You know he's injured. You know that he felt something. And he's refusing to come off. At least going to try and give it a go for as long as he can stand it. Meanwhile, Angola down a man at the moment. And Botswana back in possession. Itilovke. Otsiwa. Ramoraka.
If Botswana are going to get back into this game, and it has to be on the flanks, they have to use their youthful exuberance on the flanks. We saw that in the first half with Mogorosi popping up on the left. We've seen him pop up on the right here in the second half. Magantani as well. And Setsile as well. But more importantly, they have to be able to put together a good string of passes, but finish in the final third. That's going to be important for them to get back in this game, which would set the mood and give us a great script for the final 15 minutes of the game.
Whenever that might happen.
By then, Burkina Faso game would have ended in Ouagadougou, so they'll be waiting to figure out what happens in this game.
A lovely bit of skill in the middle there from Mohutsiwa. And Makantai closed down quickly by Paizo.
The skill is not the problem, man. That's one of my biggest pet peeves with African football. The skill is never the issue. It's the final pass and the final and the finish. You know, the young Botswana players are going to move the ball around a lot. They're going to do a lot with it. But can they get the ball in the back of the net? That's key. That's very, very key.
Now it's Paizo who seems to be complaining of a problem to his hand.
And the bench is asking if he wants to
trying to figure out if there's going to be a substitution or not.
Mind you, he already has his left hand banded, and it's his right hand. Yeah, I mean...
Masunguna has had a seat on the pitch. There's no question. Once you feel that hamstring, you might want to give it a go, but you're not going to be able to sprint, and so there will be a substitution made. It looks as though Wilson is going to check in. Pedro Luanda, player, and play as a defensive midfielder or a central defender. We'll see where he slots in, whether it's just like for Danny Masunguna. So in fact, they may be forced to make 2 changes.
Hopefully just 1.
So the 28-year-old Wilson getting some last-minute instructions before checking in as an injury substitution. Tulare raffles it into the middle. One there by Boy and sent back. Ramuraka. And there's some pressure now, does get it away, but gives it away. Ramuraka trying to clean up his own mess.
That pass from
Botswana was a little heavy.
Yeah, the pass is just a little bit heavy. Just has too much weight on it sometimes.
Freddie does well to open it up. Paiso with the cross that appears to strike the hand. And it has been given as a handball.
Tulare is holding...
Not his hand.
Exactly. He's holding his thigh, it seems. And here's our substitution for Masunguna.
So Masunguna out due to injury in the 52nd minute. Wilson checks in as the first sub. Professor Jovic.
So Wilson's going to pair with Bastos, and it's pretty much a straight substitution. Now the question is, does Angola play safe and try to keep the scores the way it is, or do they try to go and try to get another goal?
Second look, I'm not sure that was a handball.
He actually came off his hand, but his hand was right by his side.
Against his body,
yeah, so should that be a foul? No. Is that more of a ball to hand? Yes.
In any case, it has been given as a free kick. 3 on the wall now for Muraki.
I think 3 is an overkill. 2 would be perfect.
That's one less to defend in the middle. The ball flung goal bound, and sure-handed Muraki holds on.
Yeah, Wilson's first assignment to stop the goalkeeper from setting up a counterattack. As the ball comes in, watch. He's right there and stops him from pulling up a counterattack.
Veteran move from the 28-year-old. Freddie, the intended target on Vito Kelly's pass.
To be honest, though, the pitch, the grass looks very lush. The question is, why are the passes not better than they are? I think it's the quality of the players. Because I've seen worse pitches with better passes. And I haven't seen anybody put 5 to 6 passes together.
Flung into the middle by Bastos that time. And blasted away all the way back to the goalkeeper, Muraki. And we'll try to play out now. Udiroque. Rolled back by Boy. Tulare. We'll try a more direct approach this time, but a little more needed on that pass. And Nielsen. Possession is short-lived for both sides at the moment. Here's Vito Kelly. Threaded forward, and that's a little too close to Muraki. Wilson Eduardo was once again the intended target. There's a bit of space now in the middle for Moisiwa.
A great idea.
So a long switch to the near side. Sitsile will chase it down. And Isak at the speed to recover.
Smart play there by Isak just to clear the ball and allow his defense to get back in shape.
So he is walking under his own power, Masunguna, but he does look to be limping some, and he'll be disappointed to have come off. Long throw, knocked away from danger. Angola looking to start the counter-attack. They were asking for a handball off of Kebwe. Instead, it will be a foul.
It's a silly foul.
And now it will be a substitution as with the number 13. Va is going to be the man who checks in. And he'll replace Igor Vito Kelly.
He looks like he's putting a good shift today. He's run out of steam. But Angola definitely still has to maintain that shape in the midfield. Let's see where he slots in. If they decide to still play a 4-4-2 or a 3-4-3, because, mind you, Wilson slotting in for Bastos. Paiso's been bumming down the flanks for the most part. Let's see what their shape looks like here.
My guess is that the youngster, Val, just 20 years old, will play a more central role, and that'll move Wilson Eduardo out wide. Meanwhile, here into the area, collision inside of the box. This will go against Angola. Dolokwe took the brunt of it.
That's the definition of taking one for the team. A poor first touch there by VAR, actually. And collided with Dolokwe there.
For the moment, it is Wilson Eduardo in that central area. Paiso.
Angola playing 3 up front, with VAR coming down the flanks.
VAR with the cross in and needed a bit more pace behind it. It was intercepted by Tulare. Mogorossi's been starved for service in this second half as Botswana have barely seen the ball. It's flicked on by Setsile. Boy tracks it down, does well to find Setsile again to the edge of the area, and once again Isak puts out the fire, and this will be a corner kick for Botswana.
Setsile has been a threat down that flank, but Isak's actually been able to hold his own every time Setsile's come down that flank the second half. A little bit of pushing there and some hand gestures and some tugging over there, but it seems like the referee's allowing a lot in this game. He's not calling everything. Obviously not a foul there, but if it was anywhere else on the pitch, the referee might have blown for a little push by Isak.
Singolame Boy set to deliver. A rare corner for Botswana. Outswinger near post. It's loose now at the back post. Tulane trying to latch on. And he's dispossessed by Jalma.
Poor first touch there from Tulare. And your first touch can set you up or get you into trouble like it did right there. Because the ball comes out to him, comes off his shin.
It's more of a reaction than an intentional touch by Tulare.
Yeah, and from there it was just downhill. But then again, not a lot of center backs can be able to control the ball in the opposition's half.
It's flicked on nicely by Wilson Eduardo. And one back through Baruti. All the way back now to Morake. No substitutions made yet by the home side. Seen 11 players out there as the ball is sent to the edge of the 18. Back the other way comes Paiso. Freddy. He does well to lob it over his marker, but can't get around himself. Here's Baruti. It's a good switch of play to Setsile. Keeps it alive now for the fullback Ramaroka. Once again Ramaroka. Isak.
Just way too many touches on the ball from Botswana and end up giving up a free kick in the process.
1v1, it doesn't matter who he's matched up against. Isak is winning everything individually at the moment.
Everything thrown at him, he's been able to handle. Talk about putting in a great shift, and it's Setsile again, who's the one who fouls him on this.
He dealt with on that attack Ramaroka first, forced him to retreat, didn't want to take him on. He saw what he'd done to Setsile. Then he takes on Setsile again and manages to contain. As we approach an hour played in Botswana, it's Botswana 0, Angola 1. Wilson Eduardo the goal scorer. On an eventful night in Francistown, and the least of which has been the football itself.
Colorful and eventful nights.
Boy catapulted forward and really needed to find the run of Joel Mogorossi. Left it a bit short.
Yeah, just that last piece of play in the final third for Botswana has, left them hanging in this game. They've put together a great showing, but they just haven't been able to finish.
It's flicked on into the middle for the run of Magantai. Well defended again by Angola. Here's Isak. No nonsense clearance from Morake, who puts it out for an Angola throw. As things stand, it's Angola in first place with 12 points, followed by Mauritania, who are already qualified coming into the round with 12 points. 2 points back is Burkina Faso, still alive, but with time winding down.
Yeah, the delay definitely affected the pace of the game. The game's a lot slower. There's no sense of urgency. Angola feels this is in the bag, and Botswana is just trying to save face. You know, that huge delay in the second half definitely affected his game. Now, there is still time.
So to your point, it does feel a bit as though both teams are perfectly happy with this score. Botswana would like to get a goal back, but they're not going to overextend themselves and risk a bigger loss as a result of it. It's not a game they have to win.
They're playing at home, you know, that still be able to keep the scoreline as safe as possible rather than get drubbed at home in front of your fans.
We'll see if they do open up a bit as the minutes wind down.
And whatever substitution the coach makes will determine as well how Botswana wants to play the rest of the second half. Do they want to come out or do they want to sit back? Isaac again.
And as far as the visiting substitutions, they were both like for like. There was the injury sub of Wilson stepping in for Danny Masunguna, who limped off with an apparent hamstring injury, while Igor Vetokele made way for the youngster Va. But that was a like for like change in the attack as well. And one sub still available for Vasiljevic.
But Botswana still has all three subs, so that's what's going to determine how they handle the rest of this half.
Long throw by Ramaroka. The near post, it's loose at the edge of the 6. Contact as a player brought down, and the shot is well off target. A weak effort in the end. They're appealing for a handball. There might have been a foul against Magantai as well.
The most they're going to get is a corner kick.
It does look as though they'll get that at least. It could have been a high boot called against Va. The youngster just recently subbed on.
This ref doesn't look like he's going to make that call. He's allowed a lot to go on. He's only called the obvious, and it's only one yellow card so far.
Boy, gets it to bounce in front of the near post.
It's a terrible corner kick, too.
It's one yellow card, and they came really early on, 13 minutes in. Fortune Tulare was booked for his first foul.
Clumsy foul, a professional foul, pulling back on the on Eduardo it was.
Ramoraka will deliver another long throw into the area. Once again, at the near post, flicked on, denied at the line. A save made by Tony Kabasa. It's the first real save he's been forced to make. It was flicked on nicely at the near post, and Tito said to try and find the equalizer.
That was way better than the corner kick from Botswana. Great throw in there and a fabulous flick. Oh, he nodded the ball right at the goalkeeper. That was Setsile, right at the goalkeeper. That would have turned the tables around in Francistown.
Mogorosi does so well at that near post with 3 defenders behind him to flick it back into the 6 into a dangerous spot, and it's a quick reaction.
It's the experience
from Tito Setsile.
It's the experience. A veteran move there from Mogorosi to just flick the ball back, and if Setsile nods the ball a few inches left or right, it's in the back of the net.
We'll let you interpret what's being said there on the touchline. Meanwhile, some attention being paid here to Tony Kabasa.
Angola's playing with fire. That goes in, the tables are flipped. Burkina Faso is back in qualification.
And Burkina Faso still lead a 0-0.
And they dropped to third.
Against Mauritania. You're right, that was perilously close to Angola finding themselves on the outside looking in. Amin Omar was ready to resume play, turned around and saw there was
everybody
none of the
players.
players.
The field. Everybody. All players on both sides.
They've just gotten used to the stoppages now. So Tony seems to be okay. We'll get things back on their way. Ramoraka is scrambling back, and he'll get there ahead of Djalma.
This game is not over yet. The Burkina Faso Mauritania game obviously is almost over, but this game is far from over. If Botswana gets that similar opportunity again, this group is going to be flipped on its head.
There was a 10-minute difference in the first half between this match and the one in Burkina Faso. At another 10 minutes in the second half, there's now a 20-minute discrepancy between the two games. Both are 1-0, with both Angola and Burkina Faso, the teams that have to win, winning. And the ball played out by the captain, Mogorosi.
Mogorosi has been a fabulous elder statesman.
Just thinking the same thing. Here he is, 34 years old, surrounded by a lot of the younger players, some getting their first opportunities with Botswana. And he's shown professionalism.
Yes. It said Sile had put that ball in a few inches to the left or right. Mogorosi would have gotten an assist for that.
And he wasn't initially called up to this particular call-up, but due to injuries, he was a late addition, and he is currently the top scorer in the Botswana Premier League. Played forward by Tulare. It's one back by Angola, now looking to counter, but the counter short circuits Dolokwe. Swing it to the near side for Ramuraka. Keep it on the ground this time. Smartly laid off there by Boy. Angola are so quick to react when transitioning into defense.
Yeah, the smart pass would have been to Mogorosi, who was right in front of him, but he tried the Hollywood pass to set Sile.
Here's Djalma. His progress impeded there by Dolokwe. Seemed to have a bigger influence in the game in the opening half, the Angolan captain Djalma Campos.
He's fizzled out of the game.
Here he is now. Tried to throw nicely, laid off by Wilson Eduardo, but
great idea by Eduardo, but Djalma wasn't there for the 1-2, the quick 1-2. He was nowhere to be found.
And it seemed to stay back as opposed to attack into the area. Decent to orbit that time by Bastos and made to pay the price. This could be yellow.
That has to be a yellow card for Mogorosi. Has to be.
Mogorosi
no
does go
doubt.
in the referee's book. Second yellow card shown by the Egyptian referee. Both to Botswana. The previous one to Fortune Tulare.
So the referee has been stingy with the yellow cards today. There's been some tackles that warranted yellow cards, but he's only given 2, and both of them have been to Botswana.
Yeah, Tulare and Mogorosi. Just over 20 minutes left of normal time. Angola looking for an insurance goal. Now it's Tulare on the front foot, and he trips over the ball. That leaves a space that Angola now trying to exploit. And Gilbert Baruti commits the foul as he brings down 5.
The yellow cards are beginning to stack up now.
So number 8, Gilbert Baruti, picks up the yellow. 3rd Botswana player booked now. Definite yellow. Didn't really make a play for the ball. He was just tripping by.
Yeah, stepped on his ankle there. Let's go back if we can rewind. Unfortunately, we can't, but, you know, memory just rewind back to Tulare when he was coming out, bringing the ball out of the defense, and he tripped over himself. It was just hilarious to watch. Young defender, he's going to learn, but move the ball quicker. It's no need to try to, you know, gallop up the field. 1-2 touches, pick your head up, pass the ball to one of your attacking players, and just drop back into defense.
Meanwhile, danger on the way potentially via the aerial route here for Angola.
I question the number of players on the wall. 3 is an overkill, in my opinion.
Freddy Kulembe over the wall, punched away by Morake. Angola looking to reset the attack. It drifts away there from Bastos. Romaraka looking to put it back in. Bastos tracks it down, rolled all the way back to Tony. Possession split evenly between the two sides. The shots virtually even as well. Angola with only one more shot on target, but that doesn't count the Bastos free kick that clattered off the upper 90.
Yeah, and you know the possession, it's pretty accurate because
neither team have really had much of it. It's 50-50 because it has to total 100%.
Exactly, but not only that, you know, it's Angola dominated the initial part. Botswana had their moments. I'm kind of surprised about the shots total.
That's why I like the way that the Italian Serie A does their possession. Instead of giving you a percentage of possession, they give you minutes on the ball. So it doesn't have to, and it doesn't have to equal 90 minutes.
That is true.
Sometimes no one's in possession.
Oof.
Player down is Motsiwa, but he was down under contact from his own teammate.
That was a heavy tackle on Paitso there from both Botswana players. I thought the referee was going to blow the whistle there, but this ref is allowing the game to flow.
A good long ball to chase for Magantai, but it just bounces into the arms of Tony.
Yeah, I think we have to give Botswana a grade for effort. They look like, you know, they're trying to do something. It's not a lot. You know, it's an inexperienced team. It's a very young team.
And this is Setsile who wins it back, now streaking into the area. Setsile!
Oh.
He blasted over the crossbar. With a difficult angle for the left-footed player.
Isaac's first and only mistake so far, and it almost results in a Botswana equalizer. He has all the time in the world. What was he trying to do there? And he puts that wide. Oh, unbelievable. He settled himself, set it on his left foot, but he leaned back and that just kept on going up. Unfortunately for Botswana. But like I said earlier, you know, they look like a team that's trying to do something. They're young, they're playing for pride, and they've had some opportunities that would have been put away by a more experienced team. Angola should be happy that they're playing this Botswana team and they're not playing Burkina Faso or Mauritania, because those goals would have been put away. Those attempts would have been put away by now.
In effect, the second half, the scares have been all on Tony Kabasa's goal. And the substitution will be made by the home side. This will be the first change for Botswana. Gofaone Mabaya will check in, the 23-year-old from Orapa United. And the Botswana Premier League will check in, and he'll replace Magantai, who was one of Botswana's most dangerous players, certainly in the opening half.
Yeah, Magantani just fizzled out as the game drew on. We didn't see anything. We didn't see anything more from him in the second half. So this was a smart substitution there from Botswana. And let's see what they do with this throw in here.
Long throw again toward the near post, similar to that earlier chance brought down by Mogorosi. Is shot by the newcomer Babaya, and still alive here for Boy. And the goalkeeper managing to hold on at the near post. It was from a long throw similar to that Setsile was denied point blank by Tony Kabasa. And he went to the well one more time. It's the right idea that time from Sogolame Boy, but he needed to put a little more height under that pass to the back post. He did have options. Aiso will get things restarted. Baffled into the middle, Botswana win it back.
Quick half-left pass there from Botswana. Quick ball movement. Oh, but he has to go back, unfortunately.
Romaraka.
Oh, quick touch.
Lovely touch, and now opened up here for Setsile on the near side. The early cross. A bit soft. Botswana will have a throw.
Great ball finish.
Well, meanwhile, it's 4 minutes were added on between Burkina Faso and Mauritania. Bertrand Traore's goal in the first half still holding up as the winner for Burkina Faso. We're well past the 4 minutes added on now, but that 4 minutes just a minimum. And so in the 95th minute, it is a free kick for Burkina Faso.
Still a packed stadium in Ouagadougou.
And it will be for some time.
Yeah.
Another long throw here by Romaraka to the near post. You get a second chance to deliver. No, it gets away from him, and it will be a throw for Angola. Meanwhile, a corner for Burkina Faso, and as long as they're in possession, they'll be happy. That said, they're not going to be happy with the result between Botswana and Angola the way it is now.
That's 5 minutes in, way past the 4 minutes at a time in the Burkina Faso game.
Meanwhile, Angola getting ready to make their third and final substitution. And it will be the defensive midfielder Stelvio Cruz who will check in. He'll replace Freddie. So that exhausts all the substitutions for Vasiljevic.
And what that tells us is Angola is closing shop.
An attacking player out. Defensive midfielder Stelvio in. Meanwhile, it's the final whistle between Burkina Faso and Mauritania. Bertrand Traore's goal in the 19th minute won it for Burkina Faso, but now they must sit and wait. As things stand, they are on the outside looking in third place, 2 points off the pace of Angola, who are currently top of the group. All of that could change with the Botswana goal. And the back heel from Setsile was nice for style points, but 0 for effective.
Which has been their biggest Achilles in this game. They've looked exciting for a very young team, but the finished product has been the issue.
Well, as far as the experience angle, again, this is a relatively inexperienced Botswana side, but this is not a meaningless match. It may be in terms of their chances to qualify, but Angola are playing for their African Cup of Nations lives, and so
yes, they are.
It is invaluable for this Botswana team to get this